putting their wallets where their words are, and 42 cents of every dollar invested in clean tech is right here.
So once that investment's made, is that translating from the proverbial lab to the bedside now? In the context, are we seeing the actual utilization of those dollars beyond research and development to actual product development, real jobs, and are we able to mark the trajectory of investment, the trajectory of
Well, let's use solar as just one example. The answer is an unequivocal yes. But in the solar industry, one of the bright spots about solar is that those are jobs that have to stay here. Those are jobs in place, great middle class to upper class jobs. My home in Las Gatos, we're not going to ship by route to Singapore to slap a solar panel on. It's going to be done right here by technicians and installers, and these are great jobs as well. And what's exciting about that space is the stock market this week that went up and down like a yo-yo. Look at SunPower's results on Thursday. SunPower had great gains, and the numbers show that they had about a 26% rise in their stock. Tom Werner, the CEO there, someone you know well and do well with, they're doing just wonderful.
Interesting to contrast that to a lot of the sort of benchmarked companies, the brand names. Google had a better day on Friday with the Yahoos and others in the world, Cisco and Intel. They're down in some cases 40, 50% in terms of market cap compared to where they were a year ago. Is that creating a lot of uncertainty and a lot of hysteria in the valley, or is this clean tech future as bright as you say, and people are confident that will transition, or is it enhanced not at all?
Well, what's good about Silicon Valley is we're steely-eyed optimists, and remember the financial challenges that our nation and world face, while significant, this is not a creativity or innovation downturn. This is not like the dot-com bust. Our companies are strong, healthy. We obviously need to make sure we deal with the financial crisis because that impacts our customers, both small businesses who need loans to buy our products, as well as large companies in terms of mergers and acquisitions. So we don't take it lightly, but we're not taking it lying down either.
And it's interesting, Carl. My guest again on the Gavin Newsom Show here on Green 960 is Carl Guardino, the President and CEO of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. And we're talking economic issues, particularly in light of the recent market conditions in Silicon Valley's success in spite of some of the macroeconomic conditions, particularly in the green tech sector and other sectors. If you've been around long enough now, and I think you've been CEO since the late 90s,
12 years.
12 years. So you've seen, when you reference the dot-com bust, you don't see this in similar terms, what's happening today?
Mayor, not at all. The dot-com bust was one where the epicenter was Silicon Valley. In this case, this is a financial services crisis that certainly impacts us, but it's like the tail of a dog whipping everything in its way. It snaps, it hurts a bit, but we are going to be fine in Silicon Valley.
Interesting. Now, Silicon Valley is 30 years ago compared to where it is today. Where do you see the Silicon Valley 30 years hence? I think the Silicon Valley Group's been around about 30 years. Do you see the Valley growing in the context of its influence and dynamism, or do you see the natural relationship of competition taking shape in such a way that Silicon Valley exists in different forms and manifestations, not only across the rest of the state, but the nation, and for that matter, around the world? Do you think Silicon Valley can maintain this leadership position?
Mayor, you're right. Silicon Valley Leadership Group was formed by David Packard, co-founder of Hewlett-Packard 30 years ago. And what's exciting about Silicon Valley is that we innovate based on these for products and processes and very smart people around the world. So we have seen the PC revolution, the defense revolution, the internet revolution, and now I think the most exciting one in terms of protecting our planet, the clean and green revolution. We'll continue to be at the forefront as long as we have the dynamics that created and sustained Silicon Valley. World-class universities, venture capitalists, the best talent in innovators who love to compete against each other and the rest of the world. Those are our strengths. But what you've done so well in San Francisco, what we need California to do better, is to make sure that we have the business climate that companies want to create and innovate here. So Silicon Valley's future is based on our own core strengths. also on those public-private partnerships that ensure that California and the Bay Area are open for business.
Well, let's talk about then the challenges, because I think you're absolutely right on in terms of the recipe for success. And education being so foundational, so principled. There are not a lot of optimists out there about the K-12 education system in the state of California. People are also worried about the impact post 9/11 on H-1B visas and the fact that we're no longer the choice university system that we once were in terms of graduate and postgraduate degrees with foreign students. How is the climate, from your perspective, in Silicon Valley in relationship to the challenges of public education and institutional learning? How is that taking shape, and where do you see it going?
Well, you just picked two of the core issues that are critical to the success of Silicon Valley, and I'll just mention quickly both of them: K-12 education, H-1B visas. K-12 education makes sure that our workers today and their families want to come here and innovate here, because if they don't have good schools for their kids, they don't want to stay here. So what are we doing about that? At the leadership group, we work on policy, of course, all levels of government, but also programs and projects to have an immediate effect. One we're excited about, a partnership with Intel, is our middle school math initiative. 20 of the key poor-performing middle schools and feeder schools throughout Silicon Valley. They educate about 15,000 kids a year. These are teachers where in California only 1 out of every 3 middle school math teachers even have a degree in the subject, let alone it being their passion. You can't teach something very well if you don't know it very well. So we are paying these teachers, flying in mentor teachers and professors from around the country to focus on those teachers in these poor schools where our kids and teachers never catch a break. And anything that's Intel related is very quantifiable. We test the teacher skills at the beginning and at the end of 8 hours of intensive instruction, and then at the end of each year we test the kids to see if they're improving and getting a bang that's positive for their future lives and livelihoods. And the upside is it's working. H-1B visas